Hi, this is Bill Scheidt from Applied Finance Research, and in this video we're going to dive into the thought lineage behind monthly asset allocation systems. So what I'd like to do is go in chronological order, looking first at the academic research behind the market concepts we employ, then taking a look at the role of Dr. Van Tharp, who was the founder of the Van Tharp Institute, then the work of Dr. Ken Long in the creation of the first generations of monthly systems, and then we'll take a look at how I have evolved them into the current second generation versions. The intention behind this video is, my hope is that this video will give you the trust, the familiarity, the confidence to successfully trade these systems. One of our monthly systems students and investors recently made a very good point. He said that having trust is what gives us the confidence to stick with a system instead of getting off the bus when drawdowns inevitably come. So as we know, of course, abandoning an otherwise well-functioning system can be a very costly mistake. So hopefully this will give you the confidence to stick with these systems because they have a really amazing thought lineage behind them. Let's begin with the market concept of momentum, which is at the heart of several of our monthly systems. In our courses on momentum systems, we reference research published as far back as the 1980s and published in places like the Oxford University Press, the Financial Analyst Journal, and by authors such as Vijay Singhal, David Vomand, and Gerald and Marvin Appel. As solid as all this is, one thing I want to point out is we don't see here the work, the enormous work done by a lot of other people. Gary Antonacci is a good example. He's been working in the field of momentum investing for over 40 years. He began researching momentum in the early 1970s and is very well known for his award-winning paper on dual momentum. He and others are not on this list because we don't specifically reference their work in our courses, but just because we don't reference their work doesn't mean it hasn't been a huge contribution to their field. Their work, to this field, their work further helps solidify momentum as an academically sound market concept with a long-term statistical edge. Let's now go on to the market concept of moving averages, which is at the heart of several of our monthly systems. And in our courses on portfolio moving average systems, we reference research published even further back, some as far back as the 1960s. This research was published in places like the Journal of Financial and Quantitative Analysis, the Journal of Financial Economics, and the North American Journal of Economics and Finance. Of course, moving averages are also one of the most common and most popular indicators in the markets today and have been for a long time. So here we see that just like momentum, moving averages are an academically sound market concept with a long-term statistical edge. Going in chronological order, I want to move now to Dr. Van Tharp. You probably already know of him, but just in case, he is one of the world's top trading psychologists. He was featured in the book Market Wizards. He's published dozens of his own books. He popularized concepts like SQN, R multiples, and position sizing. Of course, he is the founder of the Van Tharp Institute. He taught hundreds of workshops, courses, and training programs for traders there. He also created the Super Trader program. And these last 2 points are significant because I met Van when I was a participant in the Super Trader program. And not only did I meet and study with Van, but also one of Van's top instructors at the Van Tharp Institute, Dr. Ken Long. Again, you probably already know of him, but just in case, Dr. Ken Long is the founder of Tortoise Capital Management. He's the author of the book Foundational Trading. He is a retired Special Forces officer. He taught for decades at the Van Tharp Institute and is now an instructor at the U.S. Army Command and General Staff College. He is a trader, a coach, a mentor, and in my opinion, he's one of the most brilliant minds in trading today. Not to mention, he's one heck of a human being and one of the most giving people that I met. Most importantly, in the context of this conversation, he also created the first generation of monthly systems. These were called originally BMR and core systems, and he taught them to hundreds and hundreds of traders at VTI since the early 2000s. Now, it's with the influence and encouragement of Dr. Ken Long that I evolved the first generation BMR core systems into the second generation systems that we teach and trade today. So that brings us to me. What's my background and role in the thought lineage of monthly asset allocation systems? So I am a former co-owner and president of a registered investment advisor firm. I taught at VTI. I was also a super trader participant at VTI prior to teaching there. I am currently an instructor in Ken Long's Owl Group. I have close to 20 years experience trading stocks, options, commodities, and crypto. And the second generation evolutions to the monthly systems that I'm responsible for are enhanced momentum calculations that incorporate relative strength, the PMA systems as a second option to the momentum systems, optional volatility stops to help us manage risk in high volatility environments, optional short positions that help us capitalize on bear markets, and broader portfolio selection for greater diversification, as well as expanded options for tailoring strategies to fit students and investors as individual traders. But again, I did all this with the encouragement and influence of Dr. Ken Long, in the backdrop of all that I learned from Dr. Van Tharp, and with thanks for how he connected me to Ken, who created the first generation of monthly systems based on the huge amount of academic research at the core of these systems. So there you have it. That's the thought lineage behind monthly asset allocation systems. This is Bill Scheidt from Applied Finance Research. Thank you very much for watching, and happy investing.